We hear about boomer logic all the time, but what is some millennial logic that could be called into question? Complaining about something on the internet equals activism. But adding a filter to my Facebook profile picture does plenty for a cause, right? My thoughts and prayers are with Gonda. Sending positive energy their way. If you don't light the beacons, you're a flipping hypocrite. I think we look at everything in really negative terms, then don't know why we are sad. Also, selfies are probably a sign of narcissism. We can just accept that and move on, guys. Yes, the world is a massive clusterflip at the moment, but people bombarding themselves and each other with pessimistic/negative thoughts and opinions and ideas is not doing anything to help. Thinking that you'll change someone's mind on the internet. Throwing out and replacing items instead of repairing them. I'm sure not as many things are repairable as they used to be, but a lot of people don't even try anymore, because it's so easy to go on Amazon and have a new one in 2 days. The problem is that with a lot of things it is honestly cheaper to replace them. We had an old washing machine break. All that had happened was one of 3 pieces of plastic inside the drum had snapped and come off. Cost of a new part and maintenance to fix it, €500. Cost of a new machine €400. It didn't make sense to pay more for the fix. That acceptance of everything is good. No, it isn't. Child molestation is a great way to shut down that argument, from what I've heard. And before anyone points out just how badly I worded that, I mean bringing up the topic of child molestation, and that there are people who actually make the choice to do it. No. I like the other wording. The mentality that everything is completely flipped. It ain't if you and I get off our collective asses and do something. Protesting corporations for their exploitation of workers, but buying drugs from dealers that get their drugs from hyper-violent drug cartels. That body positivity is okay. Yes, it's important to love yourself, but don't say that being overweight is healthy, since it really isn't. Edit. Some of you misunderstood what I meant, so here to clarify, I'm all for body positivity, and understand there can be many reasons for being overweight/obese, but what I meant was that some people try normalize obesity, which is a serious health risk and that should not be looked in a way that's healthy and normal. Spending a bunch of money on food that came from the other side of the planet, while complaining about super tankers polluting the air. I've got a friend who is currently posting every meme out there about climate change and how every small change can help on social media. Meanwhile she travels by air multiple times per month on short trips around Europe and the UK because she enjoys mini breaks and doesn't see the irony in that. Majoring in an awful major and then complaining that your major has no jobs. That all rich people are evil and must have either cheated or exploited some other person to get to where they are. The argument is more that rich people relied on exploitation to get where they are, whether it was intentional/direct or not. Here's the best one. We are just too young and naive to understand the implications of student loans. Nobody told us about the real world and personal responsibility. Smash cut to 2 minutes later. You need to listen to us. We understand the issues more than you. In all fairness, this is more indicative of late millennials and early Gen Z rampant virtue signaling. That and the "if you don't agree with me you're my enemy" mindset that has taken off. We would all do a lot better if we spent less time deciding ourselves voluntarily, makes it easier to control us, and started finding common ground with each other and respecting differing opinions. Saying okay boomer to any boomer who they disagree with instead of changing their ideas. Like a boomer. Or not knowing what a boomer is. A lot of my friends think that if you don't answer the phone when bill collectors call they will eventually give up and you get to keep the money. I need new friends. Sex positive, but also everything is apparently a problematic fetishism that needs unlearning. There's a difference between being sex positive and unhealthy fetishization. Like the teens that beat up a lesbian couple because they wouldn't make out in front of them is an example of unhealthy fetishization. This goes both ways, but putting people into metaphorical boxes based on the year they were born, communism good and actually real communism has never been tried, mostly by middle class kids from USA who never had any problems in their lives and never had to live in communism. Never even worked a day in their life. Blaming boomers for their lack of opportunities while simultaneously wanting to have the same lifestyle as boomers. Given the opportunity, millennials are just as willing as boomers to screw over the next generation. Cancel culture for the littlest fucking things, probably. Canceling is weird because it legitimately doesn't work against people outside of your community or cohort most of the time, and also affects marginalized communities more, which seems like it would be the opposite of what you'd want. Like if literally every left of center person cancelled Shapiro's wouldn't do shit because his base already isn't left of center. Astrology is not real SMH. Not really a millennial thing, considering how old it is. You're only saying this cause you're a Virgo. I'm going to be healthy and try mindful meditation and start a keto diet while binge drinking on the weekends. That being depressed and constantly whining about it on the internet is cool. Are avocados really that good for you?